Hi, everybody. Lee here in Florida. Got a little story for you about a man called, his name was Nikolai. And Nikolai was the companion to my wife's mother in Russia. My wife's from Russia. And I first met him in 2010 by the Black Sea. They were at a resort in the town which is called Anapa, and that's where I first met them. My wife's daughter and her family lived in Anapa in that same town. So, and then subsequently at their home in Ryazan, Russia, I met them 5 or 6 more times. But here's the thing. They were extraordinary in this respect. Nikolai, maybe he didn't realize it at all. I don't know. But the way he led his life was optimal. And I realize it now, years later, and I'm trying to emulate what he did in his life. Because here's the thing, his routine of walking everywhere, him and my wife's mother, Sophie, they walked to the bazaars to get their groceries, and could be a mile at least. They would walk there, walk back with these loaded down, both of them loaded down with their bags of stuff, including a gallon of milk that they got from the same cow always, things like that. And they lived on 3rd floor in this tiny apartment, which is where I met them in Ryazan and had dinner with them and all that sort of thing. And with my wife and I had a good time because Nikolai was such a great character. He said, happy man, very sociable, and I just couldn't get over what a great character he had. And he was alert, and he was 93 years old when I first met him. And at this point, 94, 95, 96, in those times that I knew him while her mother was alive. Of course, she passed away at 93. But he was, how did he live his life? And how did he end up, get this, lived to be 106? And I don't mean being 106 and unable to do anything. This guy exercised every day. They walked a lot. And at 96, he was very vibrant. I remember saying, you take care, and I put my hand on his chest. It was strong. And this guy was alert. There was no signs of any problem. He had no problems, physical problems. To prove that fact, he lived another 10 years after my wife's mother had passed away, and he moved in with his granddaughter and lived another till 106. So, and you might ask, at least I ask myself, what did this man do? How did he do this? First of all, he kept active. He did exercise because he did his military exercises that he learned in the military, World War II. He walked a lot, wanted to walk those steps. They were offered by the family a brand new, all redone apartment on 1st floor. They refused it. They refused it because they both felt that they needed to walk that 3 flights of stairs and back down every day to keep themselves mobile, to keep their energy up and keep them strong. Then you might ask, well, okay, physically that's what he did, that's fine. What did he eat? Well, he was mostly a vegetarian, but he still ate meat and fish. Vegetarian that ate, but the meat wasn't the main part, it was addition, because if you think about it, our ancestors, what did they eat? They ate what was available, whatever was available, whether it be vegetarian stuff or meat of any kind. Could be fish, could be elk or deer or bear or whatever was available that they could get. So common sense told me, and I'm thinking about this, and that's absolutely right, because they ate what was available. They didn't eat specific this, specific that. What they didn't eat for sure was cake and cookies. What they didn't eat was anything refined carbohydrates of any kind because they weren't available. Even wheat of any kind wasn't available until about 12,000 years ago. So when you think, what's the healthiest lifestyle? Well, the body has developed to take care of itself if you give it the right nutrition. Just give it nutrition. That's all it wants. Doesn't want refined anything. And it doesn't want pills because it doesn't recognize it as a food. I mean, common sense. That's why we're here. We're here because the body has taken care of the humans over the many thousands of years. So I don't want to get too far into that, but Nikolai was an exceptional person because he was so clear-headed, didn't wear any glasses, could read. He's 96. Had no problems that you think of older people having. None of it, because of how he lived his life. So it's very important that you understand we should follow what our previous generations did to live to be over 100 years old and to live happy, to live energetic, to live strong. I mean, he would just get up out of a chair. We'd be sitting around, he'd just hop up out of the chair. I mean, he's 96, 97 when I last saw him. Think common sense, and that's what I'm doing, looking at his life. Here's the one thing I think kept him going to 106, and that was that every Friday he didn't eat. Dinner on Thursday night, breakfast on Saturday morning. Basically a 36 to 38 hour fast. And if you look it up on ChatGPT or on Google, it will tell you that the optimal fasting is 1 day. And I think right away in Genesis in the Bible, when God created the earth, if that's your direction you want to go, that he took 1 day to rest. And that should be a clue to all of us. You need 1 day to rest your body, get your body recharged, get it into what we call now autophagy, where it's eating all the bad stuff. Common sense. And so I have followed his routine lately, but I waited too long to do the autophagy thing, to get into fasting once a week and do it every week. I'm on it right now. It is a Friday, and I'm not eating anything until tomorrow morning. And I have been feeling much, much better. I'm telling you, I'm 85 years old, and I'm feeling good. Not perfect. It'll take a while, but each week you get a little stronger, you feel a little more clear-headed, and you have a little more bounce in your step. And the thing is that I feel satisfied and happy with my life. And I believe in my heart 100% that longevity and having a good life, if you're going to live longer, that you're going to not be in a wheelchair, or you have to keep active, you have to eat right, and you have to fast. Those are the 3 things that you must stick to if you want to live a nice, long, comfortable life. So have a great day. I hope this helps a little bit. And anyhow, hopefully we'll keep coming around and letting you know what's happening to me. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.